The streets of Boston shimmered under the glow of street lamps, their golden halos reflecting off the cobblestone paths and the quiet Charles River nearby. It was late spring, the kind of night when the air carried a hint of warmth, and the city seemed to breathe slower after the bustle of the day. Amid the faint hum of distant traffic and the occasional laughter spilling from cafes, two people found themselves standing on the same stretch of Riverwalk, unaware that their lives were about to intertwine in ways neither had expected. Evelyn Harper, a 22-year-old literature student at Boston University, often came to the Riverwalk at night. She carried a notebook everywhere, scribbling thoughts, poems, and fragments of stories. To her, the night was a canvas where her imagination thrived. Away from the noise of the day, she felt free to dream. On the other side of the same path, Daniel Brooks, a young software engineer new to Boston, liked to clear his head with late-night walks. His work often kept him indoors, surrounded by glowing screens and lines of code, but at night, he sought the fresh air and the calm rhythm of footsteps along the river. That evening, fate nudged them together. Evelyn sat on a bench, her pen scratching against the paper, when a sudden breeze lifted one of her loose pages and sent it fluttering onto the path. Daniel, walking by, caught the sheet before it could hit the water. He glanced at the words scrawled across it, half of a poem, the ink slightly smudged. "Is this yours?" he asked, offering it back with a small smile. Evelyn looked up, startled at first, then relieved. "Yes, thank you. The wind has a habit of stealing my thoughts." Daniel chuckled. "Good thing I was here to intercept. It would have been a shame for the river to claim it." Their eyes met, and in that instant, something gentle sparked. Not fireworks, not drama, just the quiet recognition of two souls pausing in the same rhythm of life. From that moment, their paths began crossing more often. Daniel discovered that Evelyn returned to the Riverwalk almost every night, sometimes with her notebook, sometimes just to sit and think. He started timing his walks to coincide with hers. Their conversations began casually, about books, about music, about the quirks of the city, but gradually deepened. One night, as they sat together on the bench overlooking the shimmering water, Daniel asked, "Why do you always write at night?" Evelyn smiled, tapping her pen against the notebook. "Because night feels honest. The world slows down. No one's watching, no one's rushing. It's when the heart speaks the loudest." Daniel nodded thoughtfully. "For me, it's the opposite. I spend all day solving problems at work, coding, fixing things. At night, I finally stop thinking. I just breathe." "Maybe that's why we met here," she said softly. "You come to stop thinking, I come to start feeling. It balances." They laughed, but the truth lingered between them. Slowly, they became a fixture in each other's nights. Sometimes they walked along the river. Sometimes they shared a coffee from the 24-hour cafe nearby. Sometimes they sat in silence, just watching the lights ripple on the water. Weeks turned into months. The more time Daniel spent with Evelyn, the more he admired her. She wasn't just a dreamer. She was determined, passionate about stories, and unafraid to express herself. Evelyn, in turn, found comfort in Daniel's steady presence, his kindness, and his quiet humor. One late summer night, after a long day for both of them, they met as usual by the Riverwalk. The sky was clear, stars faintly visible above the city lights. Evelyn leaned back on the bench, gazing upward. "Do you ever feel," she began, "that the night is trying to tell us something? Like it's keeping secrets meant only for those who listen?" Daniel glanced at her, his lips curving into a smile. "If that's true, then maybe tonight it's telling me I should be braver." "Braver?" she asked, curious. He hesitated, then took a slow breath. "Evelyn, these nights with you, they've become the best part of my life here. I didn't expect it, but I look forward to them more than anything. You've turned Boston from just a city into something else. Something I want to belong to." Her heart quickened. She had felt the same but hadn't dared put it into words. "Daniel," she whispered. "I guess what I'm trying to say," he continued, his voice low but certain, "is that I care about you. More than just as a friend." The night seemed to still around them. The river shimmered, the trees rustled faintly, but the moment belonged only to the two of them. Evelyn smiled, her eyes soft. I was wondering how long it would take for you to say that. Daniel blinked, surprised, then laughed nervously. So you knew? Of course, she said gently. And I feel the same. These nights, they've been our story all along. They sat in silence for a while, the weight of unspoken feelings now lifted. No grand declarations, no fireworks, just honesty under the stars. For them, that was enough. As autumn came, their bond deepened. They explored Boston together. Bookstores tucked into side streets, jazz cafes where music lingered long after the last note, quiet libraries where Evelyn introduced Daniel to her favorite novels. At night, they always returned to the Riverwalk. It became their place, the backdrop to their conversations, their confessions, their laughter. Their love was gentle, steady, and real. It wasn't about rushing or proving anything. It was about being present, about knowing that even in a city full of millions, two people could find a rhythm of their own. Years later, when Evelyn published her first collection of poetry, the dedication page read, "For Daniel, who turned nights into a romance I never expected but always needed." And whenever they returned to that bench by the Charles River, now older but still hand in hand, they smiled at how it all began, with a single page carried by the wind, caught by someone who happened to be there at the right time. Because sometimes, the greatest romances don't begin with grand gestures. They begin quietly, under the night sky, when two people realize that the simplest moments are the ones that last forever. That was their night romance.